Is that true?
Yes, to land this. Mr. Walter Gretzky. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm still standing beside you.
Wow. Take two. I'll just go ahead and pinch me. Go on now. They're craft when 48-foot wooden schooners, the traditional kind. Hey everybody, I'm Stephanie Beaumont. Welcome to part 2 of our season 3 premiere from the 34th annual Atlantic Film Festival. With gala screenings, great laughs, and plenty of parties, we've covered lots of ground. But there's lots more fun where that came from. Coming up on this show, we'll take you to the world premiere of 2 East Coast made movies. We'll find out their favorite films from more film-loving festival folks.
I always answer It's a Wonderful Life. And Dirty Dancing, maybe, too.
And we'll chat with the team behind this year's Audience Award winner for Best Feature.
I sometimes have a hard time imagining not making a movie in Atlantic, Canada. You know what I mean?
Plus, we'll get the scoop on what the stars are wearing from our friends at Foreign Affair and dole out some free stuff, too. With so much ahead, we best get down to business. And when it comes to the business we call show, well, the AFF is all about it. They're pleased to welcome around 200 of the world's top film financiers, broadcasters, distributors, and sales agents to this year's festival, all invited to ensure all the pieces of the filmmaking puzzle are available to attending TV and movie producers. In fact, delegates from 20 countries participated in over 1,000 one-to-one meetings throughout the festival, hosted by the amazing team of strategic partners. Director Laura McKenzie and her crew traveled to international events over the course of the year, building up their network and pitching the AFF. Quality attendance for the strategic partner session sure goes a long way to securing future productions are made here in Atlantic Canada and made by Atlantic Canadians. Case in point, award-winning Cape Breton-born filmmaker Michael Melski. He took home Best Feature and Best Director honors at the AFF back in 2011 for his gritty drama Charlie Zone. And he's at the festival this year screening his inspirational short about marathoner Johnny Miles entitled Miles from Nowhere with Josh Cruddas. And naturally, taking in meetings to ensure his cameras keep rolling well into the future.
If you live on the East Coast and you get to make a feature film every 2-3 years, I'm about to make my next one. Just got greenlit on all that.
Did
stuff.
you?
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called The Child Remains. It's a supernatural thriller.
Supernatural?
Yeah, Halifax is very haunted. Nova Scotia is a very haunted place, but we've never had a great ghost story, so it's kind of like Poltergeist for the internet age.
That's awesome.
In Halifax, so.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Will I see a lot of blood and guns and things like that?
It's more of a slow burn thing, like, like Rosemary's Baby, like Session 9, like, the original Exorcist. It's not a blood and gore like Friday the 13th. Nothing wrong with that. I love those movies too, but yeah.
Oh, good.
So this is kind of a nice little time filler, and I had spent so much time on the dark side.
Yeah.
It was really sweet doing something very like the Cape Breton Karate Kid, and that's the way I approached it.
Nice.
And I love those films too. I mean, my dad was a film buff, and I grew up not being a snob about any kind of movies. So I love them all, and I'm really lucky to get the chance to make all kinds of movies. So.
He's such a cool guy. You can find our full interview with Michael Melski at cnbc.com, including the part where he invites us to the Halifax set when they start shooting. You'll also find his cool people profile and that of his star, Josh Cruddas. We had a great chance to chat with Josh last year about his movie Copperhead that was filmed at King's Landing in New Brunswick, and we were there in Hubbard's, Nova Scotia when cameras rolled on Relative Happiness. We'll take you to their world premiere in just a bit, but first, let's check in with NL director and co-writer Deanne Foley to see how she's feeling now that the movie's complete.
Well, I'm really happy with the film. Absolutely. I know. Yeah, my publicist says, make sure you say you really love the movie. No, I truly am. I mean, it's tough making a film.
Yes. Well, I don't know, but I would imagine. I just show up and eat popcorn and love it. But
oh my God, I get to do that too.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part, is actually eating the popcorn and watching the movie afterwards. But other than that, it's really all about the process. And we had such a great team and the cast and the crew, and you kind of hope that you build a family.
I want to ask you this as a filmmaker, because I, again, show up, enjoy it. You're shooting it, and we saw that. And then what happens when you've got that done? Mm-hmm. And how long does that take, and how comfortable are you? Because you've got it in your brain, the shots, but then you've got it, and then where does it go?
First, there's depression. after you finish shooting and you go through this crazy process of trying to bring it on its feet, and it's a very intense process, and you have your family, you have the cast and the crew, and you spend a very intense time together, directing, and it feels like, how am I going to get through it? And then you get through it through a series of challenges that never seem to end.
Okay.
And then everybody goes away and you're just kind of like, oh, okay. And then you go into the editing process, and one thing I have learned is that's really where you tell the story. First you do like an assembly, and then you do a rough cut, and then you do like a fine cut, and then you become to the stage where it's picture lock, and that's when you decide, this is the image, this is the story, I'm not going to change one more frame.
Okay.
And that's always kind of like the part where I get really anxious. Right? I used to say, yeah, it's kind of like a pre-picture lock, or it's sort of like soft. This is a soft picture lock. I'm not going like really hardcore on this one. So it's sort of like you're making jokes of like you're just even saying those words where you kind of pass it over, and you work with your online colorist, and they adjust the color temperature. And
Okay, so that's
there's
when you kind of go, okay,
Yeah.
I think I got my story.
Yeah, once you're picture locked, like, that's it. And then it kind of goes into more of the process with the sound and your sound designer. And then working with the music composer, who's Dwayne Andrews, and I have to mention him because he just did a fantastic job.
That's no surprise. The multi-award-winning artist has won countless ECMAs and Music NL trophies for his work, and Dwayne has over 20 on-screen credits for his film and TV compositions, including Cracky, for which he took home the AFF for Best Original Score back in 2009. And Deanne tells us we'll be able to hear plenty of East Coast music when we're watching her film. Joel Plaskett, Rose Cousins, David Miles, Mo Kenny, and Katie Baggs all have songs featured in Relative Happiness. Now tell me that wouldn't be an awesome soundtrack. Well, awesome was the turnout for the Atlantic Spotlight screening of Danny. We caught up to guest star Mark Critch just before the show began to get the scoop.
Now this is a documentary film.
It's a documentary film about the Newfoundland Pope, Danny Williams.
Well, that may be one of the few titles Danny Williams hasn't held, and Mark is no stranger to his story. Having played him hilariously on 22 Minutes over the years, we're not surprised he's part of the feature documentary.
Well, they asked me if I'd do it, and so they came over to the house, and I have no idea what I said. Like, I was like, I love Danny, he's a great guy. Yeah. And so I was kind of glowing, and I thought, oh, geez, I shouldn't be too glowing. So I was like, maybe I should be a little critical. So if it's a little critical, I was like, I shouldn't be too critical. So it depends how they edit it. I mean, like, oh, Danny Williams is wonderful.
I thought you were succinct.
You saw it?
I thought, yes, but you were coherent.
Am I in it? I'm in for like a second, am I?
No, you've got the whole back end of the movie, and then they flash a slide of Danny at the end.
Sounds like a good movie. I can't wait to see. Smart choices were made. Because Danny, we've all seen Danny. Why not me, the fake Danny, the emergency Danny, in case of emergency break glass Danny? I think I would be a better Danny than Danny, because quite frankly, but it is nice that he had everybody over to his rec room, which is where we're showing the film tonight. This is Danny Williams' rec room. There's 4 cinemas here and an escalator. So, he's got some money.
A little bit.
Yeah, he's got some money. They say Newfoundlanders don't have money. That's because Danny has it all. It just digs it, he buries it. I saw him burning some the other day for heat. Very wealthy man.
Critchy kills me. And while none of that is true, it is a fact that Danny Williams has made a tremendous impact on Newfoundland and Labrador. But just a few minutes before the premiere, we grabbed the former premier for a quick comment.
I was going to start off by congratulating you on your biggest achievement, which is keeping the AHL in the Atlantic region.
Thank you. No, you got it. That was a big deal for me, I got to tell you. I thought we were going to lose them at the end of the year, but we've got one more year, and that gives us time and breathing space, so hopefully it'll be there to stay for a while.
And his work with the IceCaps is just the tip of the Williams iceberg. So when award-winning filmmakers William D.MacGillvray and Justin Sims collaborated with the National Film Board of Canada, well, they had their work cut out for them to ensure a thorough portrait of the man was painted.
One of the bigger challenges in making the film was trying to compact everything that Danny's been a part of. His young childhood, but also he was a Rhodes Scholar, lots of lawyer stuff that's really cool, and then the premier stuff and cable. So it was just trying to find a way to make that all into like a watchable 90 minutes.
Right.
That was the challenge, and something that we came to, rise to, and we enjoyed it.
And as it happens, the production was an enjoyable one for the film's star as well.
I was really pleased. They spent 3 years, putting all this together with a lot of material. and they just did a great job at the end of the day. And, people will judge me as a person for what it is, but as a film production, this was outstanding, in my opinion.
We'll have more from those gentlemen later in the show, and as they head into the theater, we'll head to our first break and be right back with film favorites of festival folks and the hottest looks for fall and winter from Foreign Affair. Once again, Halifax's lovely Lord Nelson played the role of host hotel for the Atlantic Film Festival, and just around the corner on Spring Garden Road, you'll find another See-and-Be Seen favorite, Foreign Affair. I was so thrilled to have them as my wardrobe partner again this year, and when it comes to what's in style for the season, well, we always listen to this lady.
Marjorie Torrens, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. It's film festival time.
I know. Can you believe it's that time already?
I love what I'm wearing. Let's start there. Can we start there?
You are wearing a lovely Canadian designer by the name of Marie St. Pierre, who's been in the industry for over 20 years. She uses fabulous fabrics and some interesting details. Very classic. You can wear it now. You can wear it in 10 years.
And it's forgiving.
Oh, yes, and it's comfortable because you have a 12-hour day. It's perfect.
All right, now, and I want to talk about yours because that is the sweetest thing, and that's pink tartan.
This is one of my favorites, pink tartan, of course, and it kind of segues a little bit to one of the looks that we have going this fall. So this fall, tops are a little boxier. There's so much that's current this season, it was kind of hard to pinpoint a few looks. So one thing I thought was really important is our plaid or print shirts. You're seeing them everywhere on all the blogs. All the cool kids are wearing plaid. You also see a lot of this wide gauge knit. So we did the little vest here last spring. I think you may remember the athletic pant was kind of big. It's a nice change from denim, which we've seen a lot of for a long period of time. So it just changes it up. So I put an oversized shirt with it. You could also do a t-shirt underneath the vest. And then we finished it with backpack, which is really cool at the moment. It's made by Macaj. They're from Montreal. They're known for their coats, but they're into bags. So put over one shoulder. You could do it over your back as well. This you could go to school, you go do your groceries, you go to a movie. It's very easy. Where couldn't you wear it?
So from plaids to pastels.
Yeah, we don't fool around. You're seeing some pastels this season, which is nice for a change, and this is a great neutral. It's almost like a blush.
Yeah.
So it's going to work with everything in your wardrobe that you normally wear, your black bottoms. You can now add a little bit of pastel.
What a cut.
This is fantastic. The zip is really great. The weight is really nice. It comes to a nice length on the body. Right. And then they were good enough, of course, to do a shirt that sort of works well underneath.
Who did this? That's gorgeous.
This is Rebecca Taylor. And this is from her runway collection, which I feel has just kind of pushed it up a little bit, which is really great. The blouse has the nice detail of the lace. You continue to see leather this season, which was really big last year. It's carried through. And then just to change the look up again, we went with the ripped denim gray, which denim continues to be strong, and the ripped continues to be part of it. It's it's not so much about the prints this season, it's about the ripped or the solid denim.
Right.
And I think we
I like to call it distressed because then I feel like I can really relate to the pants.
And then we put just a little purse with it, just to finish your look off a little bit.
And that's a zipper. It looks almost like a zipper.
It looks almost like a zipper. So your bags are going from quite heavy in the backpack to very feminine here. So it kind of gives you an idea. Anything in between works as well.
Marjorie, those skinny jeans are not going away.
They are not going away, but we do have a little variation on our skinny jean this season. We have a high waist skinny jean, which is to enable us all to wear our little crop sweaters. In keeping with the square sweater on top, you need a higher rise pant. And I think the rise is probably about 8 inches on this one.
Wow.
Which is, we also have ones that are 10 inch just to scare you a little bit. Yeah. But it keeps everything in, right? So it's a good look. And the rag and bone jeans are fantastic.
I don't think there's a day that goes by I don't thank God for stretch denim. Is that wrong?
There's nothing wrong with that. When you see cotton denim, you're like, seriously?
How did you ever do that?
Yeah. Yes. And the other nice little detail on these jeans is a nice little zip up the back. And it also the seam twists around a little bit. So it actually elongates the leg.
Talk to me about this sweater, because that is gorgeous.
Okay, this is Philip Lim 3.1, which is exciting to us. It's our first season with it. So we're enjoying the silhouettes, and the beautiful fabric and the workmanship is really great.
This, I mean, come on.
I had to save the best for the last. We were so stoked about this. There's a lot of fur for fall. And of course we
Faux fur for fall.
Faux fur. and the other kind too.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
I just love the alliteration of it all.
The faux fur? Yes, we do have some faux fur and some vegan leather and some pleather. This does not fall into that camp with the lamb back and with the leather front.
Oh, okay, very good.
So this is from our new best friend, Phil Blim, and this is beautiful with the brown and the black. And then just to change it up a little bit, because you do need a sleeve where we live most of the time.
Right.
We
Look
put
how
this.
that does up. How wild is
Yeah,
that?
they did a nice job on that. They did this beautiful blouse. We call this the Michelle Obama blouse. It's beautiful on her.
Yeah.
It's great when she can represent lines nicely like that. She knows how to wear her clothes. So
Indeed.
yes. And then we just put on a leather front pant with a ponte fabric in the back, because not everyone wants to wear full leather all the time.
That's right. And they're way more comfortable.
They're way more comfortable because you get the stretch, but you get the look.
Right.
Plaids, prints, and pastels to change up your wardrobe.
Right. And always with the black, because you can't go wrong.
Always to the black or even to the denim. The blue denim is stronger this season.
Okay.
We do have a little bit of gray and a little bit of ripped. It's more about true denim this year. Last year we had a lot of prints and colors. This year it's true denim. In terms of the cuts, it is all over the place. We have fitted, we have boxy, we have cropped. Whatever you want to wear, you can wear.
And I love the lengths, which are coming down.
The lengths are great. I like a little longer length. It's great to have to wear a heel, but it tends to get a good proportion for most people too.
And when it comes to day to night, it's flowy, it's feminine, it's fabulous.
Exactly. Good way to sum it up.
And it's foreign affair. That's where you got to come. Marjorie, again, thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm so glad we could do this again this year.
Me too.
Thank you.
So from what to wear to how to be deadly. And who am I to judge Buddy's fashion sense, but when the votes were counted, it was Donnie Dumphy who took home the Audience Choice Award for Best Feature. How to Be Deadly is a hero's journey with a Newfoundland twist, because on the East Coast, you're only as good as your last story.
What day of the week do you think it is, Donald?
Check day, so Thursday.
Friday. And what year?
1980.
2014. Okay.
Deadly. Let's go.
Donnie's been an internet favorite for years now, and after over 1 million YouTube views of Having a Time, director and co-writer Nik Sexton convinced Mary Sexton to produce it. Well, after a sold-out show and rave reviews, Mother Mary couldn't be prouder.
For me, it's almost like, like you give birth to a youngster, and then you let the youngster give birth to their youngsters, and then he gives birth to his film, and it's like, oh goody, I can cut the cord now and he can pay the bills.
Well, now wait just a second. Isn't that what the producer does? Pay the bills?
Well, yeah, we always pay the bills, but it's a different when you do it with your son. It's like we had to have a little thing.
Do you get along like inherently, like? Or do you shift your relationship when you're on set now? How does that work?
We had to. He started calling me Mary. He never called me Mary in his entire life. He had to call me Mary. Yeah. And then when he called the house phone, I was Mom. And then when he called my cell, I was Producer Mary. So it was very interesting to be able to divide it. Right. And I really wanted us to come through this. Normally with a director, I take over. Okay. And I do what I need to do as a producer to make sure that the project is where it's going. Right. And I knew that Nik had the stability, I knew he had the integrity, and I knew he knew what he was doing, but I wanted to make sure that he wasn't just going to rely on me. And you can never just rely on your producer. You have to rely on your own instincts. Right. And as a director, that's it. Make the decisions, get it done, and make a good film.
With over 190 films at this year's festival, taking home the Audience Choice Award for your first feature is huge. No doubt the victory made up for the mishaps along the way.
I hired a guy from California to come in and do the drone cameras. Okay. So like those little because I figured they're going to be banned in Canada at some point, because I think so I figured let's do it now before the laws are still kind of cool. And he came in from he asked me first, he said, oh, by the way, is it windy in Newfoundland? And his name is Robert McIntosh. If you ever watched this, Robert, then yes, he said, is it windy in Newfoundland? I said no, it's just okay, right? It's pretty good. And he came in, and we actually lucked out. We had a really good couple days. And the first hour of shooting. He had the drone camera. He has these little goggles on, and I have the goggles on. He controls
And you can tell him what to do, like, oh, I want this, or how does that work?
What happens is the drone is flying, and he has a camera on the top, which he pilots the drone, and then the camera that we're shooting on is below it, and then I control the tilt of the camera. So that's how it kind of works.
It's a team effort, then.
It's a team effort, and we're both with ski goggles on the streets, looking like crazy people, like this, like we're playing a video game. And he flew it across Gower Street, which is sort of the colorful houses street, and we're picking up Donnie as he's flying on his mini bike, and we get the shot, and it comes back, and the thing drops like 60 feet to its death, you know what I mean, on the ground. And I'm literally running over.
Are you insured for that?
Well, it's no one got hurt, and I run over to the chopper, and I'm literally there like a woman like whose son just got shot. And I'm like, no, like holding it, like screaming. And he comes over and he's like, I brought a second helicopter, so we're okay. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So.
You can find our full interview with Nik Sexton on cnbc.com. There you can also get the scoop on Lesley Crewe's latest novel, Chloe Sparrow. As for the Cape Breton author's first bestseller, well, Relative Happiness is about to celebrate its world premiere. We caught up to Ms. Crewe just before the Atlantic Spotlight screening for 2 sold-out cinemas.
How are you?
I can't talk. No, I'm very, very excited and very grateful that this has happened, obviously. So, but I kind of I shouldn't say I always knew it would, but the process.
It has to be something, right? In the back of your mind.
Well.
It's a great story.
Yeah, it is.
They're rare.
I think there's a lot of writers that think their stories are just as good, and they no doubt are. But I was just lucky enough to get the people that were so good to me and believed in the story and me. So that's wonderful.
Which is awesome. Now I have to ask you this, because a lot of writers, they're writing and they have in their brain who's going to play this and who's going to play that. Did the people you pictured when you wrote it end up on that screen?
For the most part. Some of them didn't, but their persona and their heart is exactly what I wanted. And Lexi is absolutely perfect. And I'm so glad that she's in every shot, I think. So I think they really had to get her right.
Wow. What's that smell?
That would be blueberry cream cake for tomorrow. But if you sneak down tonight and take some, I won't say anything. Nothing makes me happier than baking. Except maybe eating.
Fake fingernails suck.
That's my younger sister, Gabby. She's getting married in less than 2 weeks. No, it's gonna fit. I have 2 weeks. It'll be fine.
Think of my wedding pictures. Okay, girls, that is enough.
That's my mother. She's hounding me to find a date for the wedding.
Do you have a date, honey?
Why are you whispering? They're right there, and they can hear you.
Melissa Berglund plays Lexi to perfection. And since Lesley Crewe's books continue to be bestsellers, we wondered what the next one to hit the big screen would be all about.
Oh, geez, I don't know. Wait and see.
Ooh, I was hoping we could break some news.
No!
Give me some. Will it be a romantic comedy?
Yes.
See, I love romantic comedies. Congratulations.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Well, I have to thank Lisa Rose Snow, Denny Tedeo, Glenn Matthews, and Roger Maunder. They all took time to chat with me during this year's festival, and all 4 of those fine filmmakers had projects screening at this year's Atlantic Shorts program. You can find our feature interviews and lots more on their works at cnbc.com. Now, Roger Maunder was also in town working on the Atlantic Film Festival's 10 by 10. RBC sponsors the program that pairs up 10 emerging filmmakers with 10 emerging East Coast artists to create 10 awesome videos. Roger worked with Sydney, Nova Scotia native Dave Sampson to come up with this cool video for These Days. And it was Roger Maunder who just months ago made the first ever video for NL legends Shanny Gannock, and what a hit that's been. So get this, when all the lads heard I'd be showing their music videos, they threw in their new CDs for our TV Free Stuff prize pack. Some sweet, wah? So that's Dave Sampson's No Pressure, No Diamonds and Shanny Gannock's Rockin' on the Water. Both CDs can be yours if you can tell us the name of the filmmaker who directed their music videos. Once you know it, hit the website at cnbc.com, click on the TV Free Stuff button, and submit your answer. Good luck to ya, and we'll be right back. Well, our show is winding down, and it looks like the Danny screening is finally over. They had a standing room-only crowd, multiple rounds of applause, and a post-show Q&A that would still be going on if they didn't have a late-night screening of Texas Chainsaw Massacre slated for the same cinema. So happy to have been granted a post-show chat, CNBC was there to get Mr. Williams' reaction. How are you now? Are you teared up?
I'm relieved. You know, I honestly did. I teared up in the beginning. I teared up. The Aboriginal piece was very sensitive. Yeah, it was. I'm so delighted that you put that whole piece in, because that was important to me, right? The other personal part that I teared up was the part about my dad when I left the firm that time. That was something that was really traumatic for me at the time. But but the range of emotions, the laughter, and the way it was mixed, I enjoyed it.
That's these fellas.
Oh,
hey,
big time.
what a team!
Big time.
We talked about it before it screened, and I couldn't imagine taking this fella and putting him up there in this amount of time. What was the process like? 3 years, you said you shot. How did it all come together, Mr. MacGillvray?
Mr. MacGillvray, she would ask me.
Excellent.
It was a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
You know, it was a major jigsaw puzzle because you have not only time, but you have people, and you have ideas, and you have then, you know, how you connect all these things together so that each becomes meaningful in juxtaposition to the other. Justin and I are dramatic filmmakers. That's what we do most. And so when we tackled this, we tackled it as a story being told, as if it were a drama, and he was the central character. And that was always our mission within this, was to try and do it that way, as opposed to your documentary with fact.
So now, here's what I wonder. Will there be a sequel?
Oh, I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I don't know how long I'm going to live.
Come on. Well, we have the whole, you left the whole Galway, that empire needs to be built, right? The AHL is still going on.
The Holy Roman Empire crumpled, so let's wait and see how it works out.
Well, listen, I want to congratulate the three of you.
To put it simply, though, I would work with these gentlemen and their team and Annette any day of the week on anything, to be quite honest with you. I really mean it, too.
That's high praise.
And
Make sure that you got that. Yeah. Don't lose that tape.
You can watch this show and all the other great Community One programs anytime you want. Simply click the On Demand button on your Bell Alliant Fiber Op TV remote and follow the steps on your screen. Well, that's going to do it from the 34th Annual Atlantic Film Festival. Such a great time in Halifax. I hope you'll make plans to be here with us next year. I'm Stephanie Beaumont. We'll see you next time on CNBC. Superstar of morning television, Heidi Patracek, your favorite movie of all time.
Oh my gosh, favorite movie of all time. Okay, it has to be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yeah, Jim Carrey. Because it's funny, but it's sad. And it's different.
Yeah.
I like that too, and I love it because it shows a whole other side of Jim Carrey.
Right.
Yeah.
My favorite movie of all time is probably a film by Luis Buñuel from Spain called That Obscure Object of Desire.
Foreign language film or is it English?
Foreign language film. It is a French film, and he's a Spanish director, but he did a lot of work in both Mexico and in France later on in his life. He's really, really well known for a film called The Discreet Term of the Bourgeoisie. Very surreal filmmaker. So that's kind of my own proclivity.
Superstar of film, executive producer extraordinaire, Barrie Dunn, your favorite movie of all time is?
Going Down the Road, Don Shabib. Absolutely, is my favorite movie. Fabulous film. Paul Bradley and Doug McGraw, I think, were the two actors, and Don Shabib directed it. I mean, they started Canadian cinema, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Two brilliant guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Space Odyssey.
Really?
2001, yeah. It's a riveting piece of work.
Are you being serious?
Oh, well, I like it, but it's kind of slow and boring to a lot of people, but I like it. I'm a big Kubrick fan.
Dave, does that freak you out?
Dave, I'm afraid. Yeah, it's amazing. That's actually my favorite scene in that movie. Dark and weird as it is, yeah.
Your favorite movie of all time is?
One? Big Lebowski. Yeah. The Dude Abides. That's it, man. Absolutely. I love that film.
Molly Dunsworth, your favorite movie of all time is?
Oh my gosh. True Romance is the first one that came to mind, so I have to say.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
That's such a great Christian Slater.
Oh my God.
Patricia
Arquette. I
remember the scene in the bathroom with the...
I was just about to say that. When I need inspiration for anything, I watch Patricia Arquette and James Gandolfini in the bathroom.
That was shocking.
Amazing.
Superstar of Community One television, Atlantic Journal host Terry Lynn Kiersey, your favorite movie of all time is?
A League of Their Own.
Oh, that's a great
Isn't that such a good movie?
Do you like baseball?
Sure. Women's baseball, obviously.
Yeah, and Penny Marshall directed.
Mm-hmm. That was such a great movie.
Madonna.
Jana Davis.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Everyone.
Tom Hanks. There's no crying in baseball.
There is no crying in baseball, but you cry at that movie. I get a little teary. I'm a bit of a baby, so I like a movie that makes me cry. I don't know what that says about me.
I love it.